Hey guys!
Welcome back to another episode of Life Scope.
Let's go.
I am Jasmine,
And I'm Stefania.
and we're gonna start off with
Drink it up! So as you guys know, we started this segment where we bring in drinks that we haven't tried or are new to us. And today we have
what's it called? Joya.
Joya Spirit. It says it's a craft cocktail. So it says, I'm just gonna read off what it says: sparkling cosmopolitan vodka with cranberry, pear, and lime natural flavors and carbonation. It has 7% alcohol. It looks like this.
We'll upload a picture.
Yeah, we'll
on
upload a
Instagram as
picture.
usual, yeah.
And we got it for $5 for a pack of 4.
Yeah,
Pack of 4.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to give it a little twist. And we added some chamoy and tajin.
On top.
Jasmine brought up a great point. You can't see the top.
She filled it up with chamoy up here. I'm like, how am I supposed to open it?
Well, so let's try to.
Where is it?
You gotta dig for it, dude.
There it is.
really-
It gets inside, so it's gonna be good. Since we left tajin.
There we go.
Got it?
Yay!
Okay. Ready to try it?
Wait, hold on. My hands are all messy.
I know, mine too.
A ver.
Ready?
Salud.
Oh, I didn't even put this on. Ready?
Oh,
You
yeah.
wanna put it?
Oh, we wanted to play a song for you guys.
Since we're thinking this.
We hope you like Selena.
Salud.
The ASMR. I like it.
It's pretty good. And then the chamoy and the tajin added flavor to it, so.
Yeah, it's pretty fruity. And the tajin tastes really good with it.
Mm-hmm. Te di todo, mi amor, y más. You're gonna start karaoke now.
I know. We should.
We should.
No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to add the song to give it a
Mhm.
different vibe.
Yes.
But
That's
today's
good.
topic. Oh, wait, actually, yeah. What do you think?
Did you rate it?
Mm-hmm. Out of 5,
like
yeah.
it.
What would you rate it
Out of 5?
Mm-hmm.
I would get a 4. Or even a 5 with the chamoy. Like a 5 since we added the chamoy.
It's a 5 with the chamoy. We
Mhm.
can't give you a clear rating because we
Mhm.
added the chamoy.
Yeah.
But I would think it would probably be a 4 without it.
Without it, yeah. 4. That's pretty good.
Cheap, too.
Mm-hmm. For 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We already ate breakfast. Don't worry, guys. Sorry if you see me licking it. Tahini is so good.
It is.
Well, but yeah, today's topic is growing up. So my cousin actually messaged me. We know that we have 2 different types of audience, I would say.
Mhm.
One, it's between the ages of like 15 through 18.
Mhm.
And the other one, well, I mean, we have different ages,
Yeah.
but mainly 15 through 18 and then 22 and over.
Over, yeah. Mhm.
And so my cousin was saying, what if we talk about like growing up and going through everything that involves growing up? And I was like, that's actually a great idea, because either one, we can talk about it and it might help you kind of like get through it in a way, or just see how like someone else's experience was.
Yeah.
Or if you've kind of already been through it, like we can talk about how, or you can see how much you relate to us, or if you kind of went through the same things. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're gonna start based on our experience first.
Mm-hmm. How was
For me,
puberty for you?
well, for me it was while I was living in Mexico. So I
Mm.
feel like that might be different experience from here
Mhm.
than from in Mexico.
True. It can be very different.
Mhm. So I feel like, I don't know. One of the most like biggest things that I remember was, like when you get your period, like the girls talk about it,
Mhm.
and I feel like if you don't get it, you feel ashamed. Like, dang, I guess so don't.
You're like, what about me?
Yeah. Like, what about me? And I remember like in class, the girls would talk about it. They were like, oh, do you like already like asking? But it was embarrassing because it was like the whole class, even the boys were there. Like they were asking.
Oh, even the guys?
Yeah, they were there, but supposedly they were talking in like code or something. And, like the guys still know. I mean, the boys still know what you're talking about. But I don't know, it's still like that pressure. Like, do you already haven't started your period? And it was like, it felt uncomfortable to talk about it, but at the same time, like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel like that was one of the big ones.
I agree. I would say for me, I also. Oh my god. Excuse me 1 second.
She has to have another drink.
My eyes even got watered.
Yeah.
Oh, also, before I continue, I feel like it should be good to clear up because one of my friends was like, I can't watch your Snapchats without thinking like your mom asked you to send you to send her the location. It doesn't happen every time, but
just sometimes.
Just sometimes, yeah. Usually when I go out with my girlfriends, doesn't happen. With my boyfriend either. It was just like that one time. I don't know if she was just like joking around or if she was being serious. But sometimes like she will. But I just thought I would say that. But yeah, growing up for me, it was the same thing. I was living in Mexico when I was going through puberty. And it was kind of like, because girls go through puberty at different times.
Yeah.
For some of them, it hits them sooner. Some of them, it's later. For us, I don't think we talk so much about like who got their periods or not. Like, I don't think I remember talking about that. But it was kind of like more about like, oh, look, like she has more boobs. And it's like, well, I don't have any, like when is that going to happen to me?
Yeah.
But and then too, like, I think it's so funny that what you were saying, the girls were, that you kind of felt embarrassed if you didn't have it. But girl, once you have your period, you're going to live forever with it. So
that's true.
Well, up until you get to an older age, but enjoy while you don't have it. If you're young enough and you don't have it, enjoy while you don't.
Enjoy being a kid.
Enjoy being a kid. I'd say, so one of the things that I really like miss too, it's like your hairs and your armpits and like your legs were so like thin. You couldn't even tell. And now it's like they're thicker. And also too, like the more you start to shave, the more thicker they become. So it's like enjoy when you don't have to do it.
You don't have to shave.
You don't have to shave. But yeah, it was kind of like that. I know that the first time I had my period, I told my mom. My mom was kind of like, yeah, whatever, it's normal. And I was like, but mom, what is this? Like, it's coming out and I don't know what it is. And I was like freaking out.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, just put on this and then you're fine. Just leave it on. And I was like, but how? Like, like I was like so confused. Yeah. I do think though, I feel like in Mexico, they did give us classes about like the women's intimate parts, the men's intimate parts, kind of like the period and everything. And my brothers and sisters here, at least, well, also too, my brother came when he was in 3rd grade and my sister was in 4th. So I don't know if like anytime before that they give you classes about that, but they were saying no.
Oh, okay. I don't remember having classes in Mexico about that.
No? Yeah, we did. We had one, and they showed you kind of too like how a baby grows and like the facets of like the baby growing. And I remember there was this one project, which I think it's good. I mean, people are still gonna have sex if they wanted to have sex, but there was this project where you had to carry an egg and like you would dress up the egg as if it was your baby.
Oh yeah.
And basically you had to last like a week without breaking it. But essentially the egg was like your baby, and you had to take care of it and it couldn't like break or become bad. And I thought that was like a fun project.
It gives you a responsibility.
Yeah, it gives you a responsibility. Yeah. I know I've seen it in movies. I think it depends what school you go to, because I know people like have had like those fake babies that like.
Yeah, they had that in my high school.
Yeah? Okay.
But I didn't take the class though.
Didn't take the class?
It was an elective, so you chose it.
Oh. Yeah. I think it's so much better if it wasn't an elective, because like it teaches you about responsibility. Like me personally, like I'm the oldest out of 6, and for my 2 younger brothers, I pretty much had to take care of at least one of them for like a while. Especially too because my mom was working at the time, and my brother, like from when he was a baby up until the age of 2, like pretty much took care of him. Okay. I mean, my mom was always there, but she was working.
Yeah.
And basically after that, I was like, I do not want any kids. Like 15-year-old me was like, I don't want to have kids. I don't want to get married. And you know what's so funny too? I think I've said it before. Like when I was younger, I never wanted to play like the mom or like la casita. I never. I would get so mad when my cousins would be like, you're the mom. I was like, no, I'm the daughter. I was like, no, I'm the daughter. Yeah. Or I was like, let's play Barbies.
Mhm.
Because I don't know, I think from a young age I learned like how much of a big responsibility it is, and like that I didn't want to go through it.
Yeah.
Now I do want to have kids. Like I'm not saying I don't, but
Yeah.
it also teaches you like with time to like you know, kind of just enjoy like the facets of your life. But you know, like if it happens, you know, and God blesses me that way, sure.
Yeah.
But if I choose, like it's not
yeah.
gonna happen until like a couple years. Yeah, because it's a lot of responsibility.
It
Like
is.
me having siblings, you can see like it's not just like, oh, they're cute, they're babies. It's like they gotta eat, they poop,
Yeah.
they get sick. Because my two brothers, they would get sick all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. So that was part of it too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, and like as a kid, like you said, if we were to take that class, it makes us maybe like, oh, I don't want a kid right now. I don't know, like be more, maybe makes you think more, be like responsible, like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this because it's a big responsibility.
Because I think too, like when you're around that age, 15, 16, like a lot of the pressure is like, I feel like a lot of girls are, or kids are having like intimate relationships at that time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you're not cool or you don't fit in if you don't do it. But it's like, no, don't feel pressured into doing it.
Yeah.
I'd say like wait as long as you can. Or if you are one of those people that really believes in like waiting until marriage, do it. Like don't feel pressured or don't feel like you're missing out because you don't do it, or like you're waiting. Don't, like that's not what life is about. Like if you, it's basically kind of like one of those sayings that your parents have, like if your friends go and throw themselves at a hole, are you gonna throw yourself in it too?
Exactly.
And it's like, no, you're not gonna do that. And I think it's really important to like at that age to not feel like you're missing out. I know from my own experience, because I went through that. Like it feels like your whole world is collapsing, or like any little thing, it's like it really gets to you. And it's because you're going through this change physically and mentally, and your hormones are like changing. And so like any little thing seems like very extreme, and we're all different.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't go through it the same way, but for me, like all the changes felt very extreme. And then, like I've said before, my family situation was kind of like we were doing long distance, so that kind of like added a little bit more pressure into it. But I'd say like don't feel pressured. Like you go and live your life at your own pace, and don't feel like you're missing out. High school is really hard because it's hard and it's good at the same time.
Yeah.
I'd say like don't try to live your life pressured into doing things that you don't want to do, because you're gonna regret doing it.
Yeah, just like to fit in. Like, oh, I want to fit in, I'm gonna just do it. Like, don't do it. Just
if you want to take a class because you want to take a class, go ahead. But if you're taking it because your friend is taking it, and that's just like a small example, but it can have to do with like a lot of things. Like it could be parties, it could be drugs, it could be sex, it could be different things. Like you don't have to do it. And I know like when you're in that age, it feels like, oh my God, I'm missing out. Oh, but these people are out partying. I was never like a big party person.
Yeah.
And like at that age, I know like a couple of friends were like partying, and they would always talk about like how they went here and they went there. And I was like, I'm missing out.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, you're so young. Like at that age, then we all go through life differently. But at that age, like life is barely starting. Like enjoy while you're not an adult and you don't have responsibilities. Because as soon as you hit 18, I feel like everything else just starts coming quick.
And you'll have time for that. Like your teenage years, like you're still a kid, enjoy it. You'll have time for everything else once you're growing up and you're older.
Exactly. We're going to be 23. Both of us are going to be 23. And we feel young.
Yeah.
We feel really young. Well, I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm still like 20.
Yes. Same.
I feel like I'm still 20. And the whole hype about like drinking alcohol once you turn 21, it's like,
It's true.
It's like, whatever.
Yeah. And mostly because sometimes also like kids already started drinking at 15. So there's no hype when they turn 21. I guess because they can legally buy a drink, but they've been drinking already.
They've been drinking, yeah. And you know, like I know one of my cousins, she decided like she wasn't gonna drink up until the point that she was 21. And that's absolutely fine. Like if you like, I love that, like stay true to yourself. Like no matter if like your cousins or your friends or like whoever's telling you like, oh, let's do this, but you don't want to, you don't have to. Don't feel pressured until doing things, because like I said, either you're gonna regret it or something can happen and you might not be able to go back from that mistake, or like things can happen way out of your control. Sometimes like it's even not something that you caused but that other people caused, and you just can't control it.
Exactly. And something else we grew up with that we were talking about is in Mexico, the guys, they when you pass by, like they whistle or they make noises, to like get your attention, and that's just something that you're like, it just makes you uncomfortable.
Yes. I remember being so young and like guys like being like, hey, mamacita, and I was like,
like, we're children, they're little girls, like what's wrong with you?
Honestly, up until this date, I feel weird. Like when I'm here, sure, guys, look and like stare and they're like, but they don't say anything. But in Mexico, they do. They look and stare and say something.
Yeah, to get you to turn around or something.
Yeah. I say that's like one of the big differences. But I'd say too, like also like boys, come into the picture, or girls for guys, or whatever your preference is. But now too, I feel like there's a lot of pressure like at a young age to have like a relationship. And even at our age, I feel like there's like pressure on having a relationship. But no, don't do it. Like what I tell my sisters is like, I didn't have my first boyfriend until I was 18. Why? Because I didn't want one.
Yeah.
Like as simple as that. And I wasn't like interested in the guys that I had met before. I did have a crush on like one particular person, but nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
It was just like a middle school crush,
Yeah.
But yeah, like don't feel pressured into having to have a relationship. Because one, you're so young, you really don't have that much to share. Two, you're living your own life. You're going through all these changes that you barely know how to deal with, and then you have to deal with someone else's changes. I'd say like, or if you're in a relationship, don't feel like you have to break up with them like because you're so young. But I'd say live your life, because two, once you're in a relationship, you kind of like, even at a young age, I feel like you start to think about the other person. But I feel like if you know that boundary of like, yeah, where I'm in a relationship, but I'm still young, I'm my own self.
Yeah.
Like I'm with my family, or like you have to learn how to be your own person and get to know yourself. You can't let your identity be defined by being with someone. And I feel like when you're young, it happens even when you're older, but when you're young, I feel like this can happen more, that you let your identity be shaped by being with that person.
Exactly. Like don't make it feel like, oh, I need that person in order to be happy. Like that's not how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. That's not how it's supposed to be. Like relationships really are supposed to be healthy. Like I feel like lately, like what we were talking about with Dulce in one of the episodes, like they made toxicity make it seem like cool or like trendy, or like I need a toxica or a toxico in my life, and it's like no, you're missing the whole point. Like you don't need that. You really don't need that. And I know too, like sometimes like you can have different thoughts about like different things that can happen in your life, but I feel like being able to get out of your own mind and kind of try to think about think about the things from a different perspective can help you kind of like say, well, maybe this is not as a big of a deal as I think it is.
True. And I feel like for our age, it's that pressure of being in a relationship also goes, like even at our age, like we see our friends, they're like, oh, they're moving in together already. Like I haven't, like what's wrong with me? Like, no, nothing's wrong. Like everyone's in different stages. Like even if it's the same age, like it's different.
Yeah. Either moving in together or moving out of your house or, just stuff like that. And it's like, I can totally understand that feeling where it feels like you're behind.
Yeah.
But you're not. We're all going at our own pace. Like we're all going through different things. Her life doesn't look like my life. My life doesn't look like her life. So we can't compare, even though we're the same age or different things that we've had in common. We're not the same person. We're not living the same life. We can't compare each other's life to each other because it's not how it goes.
Exactly.
And maybe like my thing could be like, oh, maybe, let's say for an example, just like sake of that example, maybe you bought your car next year, but I don't buy my car until 5 years later. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, and it goes with the same with like relationships, anything. Like, we really have to learn how to put ourselves like outside that scoop of the life or like comparing yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's not about that.
It's just about like living your life. You go at your own pace.
And I feel like one of the things, especially like us even living in Mexico or living here, we're so like blessed because there's people like in other parts of the world that really like all they're thinking about is just like surviving, or like their next meal,
yeah,
you know. And we don't, we have other things to think about, like what are we gonna wear, like what is this person gonna think about when I go to school. And it's like, really think about what you have, really try to get outside your mind and try to be grateful for what you have. I know sometimes it's hard, and sometimes like you try, but it's hard.
Yeah.
But I'd say try to do that as much as you can. I'd say one of the things that could have helped me when I was younger was like start meditating or doing something for myself to help me kind of like balance the stress. Because I get that when you're young, like the stress is a lot. I don't know how it was for you, but for me, I remember myself like thinking back when I was 15, most of the time I was either like angry or sad.
Oh, okay.
I don't know like how you remember yourself.
I don't know. I feel like it was just I was
Chill.
a child. Yeah, just chill, just playing. Like I didn't really care or anything.
Jasmine is like such a chill person.
Yeah, like I mean, it did affect me like the way, oh, I wonder what they think of me. Or because I remember when I first went to Mexico, I was around 13. Around there, I think. And then the girls, they were telling me at first they wouldn't talk to me, and then like after like going to school several days, they were like, oh, we thought you were like stuck up, like you didn't, because you came from the US, like you weren't gonna talk to us. And I'm like, no.
That's
like,
a great answer.
yeah, exactly. I was like, no. And then I started talking to them in there, but at first, like, yeah, like what do they think of me, and then just like that. But
also too, I would say, going off with that, that's very true. Typically, like when you meet people that are from another place, you have this concept. So I would say be open-minded.
Yeah.
Be open-minded about like new things, new experiences. Like be open-minded. I know for me, like I said, most of the time I remember myself like being angry or sad, just because of like my situation, and my temper has always been like I get mad easily. And like I feel like at that point, like since I was going through like so much change, like emotionally and physically, and like other things happening with life, like it was just like bad. My mom says that I said I was gonna leave my house like 5 or 10 times. And there was this one time that I remember was so funny. You know strawberry cake? The little cartoon? I used to have this like red bag that was like about this big. And I was 10 at the time, I think. And I got so mad with my mom for some reason. I can't even remember. And I packed like a couple of clothes, and I had my strawberry cake bag like hidden underneath my bed. And I was like, I'm gonna leave the house. And my sister's like, I remember telling my sister's like, where are you gonna go, dude? Like, what are you gonna do? And I was like, I'm gonna go with my grandma. And my grandma lived 2 blocks away. So I don't know, like when we're young, we just like, we do overreact.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that I regret, because you know, also too, like from a very young age, I feel like I've been very mature. And since I was like 13 or even younger, I remember telling my parents, take me to therapy. Take me to therapy. And they were like, why? Like, what do you want to talk about? Like, you can talk to us. And I was like, I don't want to talk to you. I want to go to therapy. Because it's not the same telling your problems to your mom or your dad, who you might have had an argument with.
Yeah.
Because they're still going to defend their point, and you're going to defend your point. There's no middle ground.
Yeah.
Versus you talking to someone else that's outside of that might help you see, oh, maybe you were wrong. Or, oh, maybe you can talk to your parents about this.
Yeah.
So maybe like having that therapy or something to canalize like what I was going through might have helped me not like getting so mad or having like this like very rocky relationship with my parents. It's changed a lot. Like I love my parents, and now like we talk about everything or like any problem that I have. Like I go up to them. But I will say like between that age, like I admit it, like I myself was like very hard to deal with. Like I hope God doesn't bless me with a kid like that. But yeah, I remember like a lot of things that I like I would get mad about, and it's like, dude, that was nothing. Like why was I mad?
Yeah.
But I say like finding a way to kind of like catalyze like what you're going through, and if you feel like you need therapy, I feel like now it's so much more openly talked about, so you can find like things or places to go to get therapy. And I feel like even more here in the US than in Mexico. So if you feel like that might help you, like do it. Like don't be scared of like reaching out for help. Also too, like maybe start a sport or like meditate, like something that will help you get through that.
Yeah.
Because doing it on your own, like it can be hard.
And I know like friends could also help you out, but it's also like you need that distraction or that something else to help you get through it.
Also to learn how to pick your friends at those ages.
Yes, that's so true. That's so true.
Because sometimes you'll find people that will kind of like pressure you into doing things, and it's like that's not how real friendship works. Or people that say that you're friends but they talk stuff about you, or like they can accept that you might be doing better than them in some way or another, or they just say that they're your friends but really like they're not. They talk stuff behind your back. Like I'd say like the earlier in life that you kind of start to filter out their people or like know how to gauge like the type of person that they are, the better. And people can change. Like they might be bad right now and they can change in the future, but yeah.
And even at our age, like we still meet new people, like make new friends, but I feel like now we're able to identify it easier, like, oh, they're not a good friend. Like, catch it.
Yeah, exactly. Or you can kind of click, like, I don't know, I feel like we clicked like right away.
Yeah.
We were like, dang girl, like what's up? And we were like, hey. It didn't go like that, but you can kind of feel like there's a vibe, there's like energy, and you can feel who you click with like that, and you can feel like maybe I'll say hi to this person, but I won't like
I'll stay away. Like, I won't get as close. But I mean, those friends could help, the ones who are really like us, that we support each other and stuff like that. Like that could be really helpful.
Also too, get you a friend that is not scared to tell you you're doing this wrong, or like, okay, like I love you, but in the situation you might not be right.
True, yeah. To tell you the truth, like even if it's, I don't know, maybe you might think, oh, it's gonna ruin our friendship, or you think like they're gonna get mad, but no, it just helps you, like it.
Yeah, and sometimes people can't see it at that point in life, but I feel like there's always that point where they'll come around. Like if you're really telling them that because it's genuine, maybe like they're making a mistake, or maybe they shouldn't have reacted to a situation the way that they did. And they'll see that eventually. So I feel like that's a good thing to be a friend to have, or also if you're looking for a friend, that's a good thing to have and a friend.
Yeah, for sure. What else can we say? Like advice for those who are growing up, teenage years.
Take it slow. Don't think it's the end of the world. There's so much more to live. We are still young. Like we're so young. You have more. Hay más tiempo que vida. There's more time than life. So really like go at your own pace. Like don't feel the pressure. Like
don't feel rushed. You have time.
Yeah, exactly. You have time. Like appreciate your parents and your family. Like appreciate like your friends that you may have at the moment, because they can be teaching you like lessons. Life can be teaching you lessons.
For sure. Do you want to wrap it up now?
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening, guys.
Follow us on Instagram.
Listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube.
Everything.
Bye, guys.